Who's going to drink that?
Okay, so what we have going on here is you have two different temperatures of liquids. You've got ice cold water right here, and as you can see, it's water that I just took off of the hot plate just now. Very, very hot water. We're going to see and observe convection that actually will occur inside this bucket from the different sources. Now, first thing that I want you to do is I want you to observe what happens to the food coloring when I drop it into the cold water. I'm going to put 5 drops in here and then observe what happens to the food coloring. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, observe what's happening there. What's happening to the food coloring?
Kind of going around
Slowly.
the ice.
Okay. Kind of moving slowly, going down the edges. Is it staying up on top or is it staying near the bottom? What's happening to it?
Some of it's on top and some of
It's
it's
kind
on
of all
the
over the place.
Is it all over the place? I don't know. It looks like it's very, very concentrated right over here. Okay. Now, watch what happens when I put the food coloring into the hot water. Do you see the convection movement that's already happening in there? Look how quickly that changed hot water versus the cold water.
Just the hot water.
Okay. And so now what's happening is I'm changing the temperature of the water inside this bucket from down below. Now let's observe what happens to this water inside this bucket. Okay, describe what you see so far.
It's like the blue food coloring is kind of concentrated above the cold.
Okay. Severin, what can you see from up top?
Well, from the top, the red is much more expanded than blue.
Okay. And now let's look at it down this way. What do you see happening to the different colored liquids?
The red is felt like 2/3 over the way, and then the blue is the other part.
Okay. Now, look at what's happening in the middle. What do you see happening?
The red's on top and the blue's on the bottom.
The blue is actually, that blue cold water is actually subducting underneath that hot water.
You can see it, the red like pushing the blue out of the way.
That's exactly correct.
That's
the red is
cool.
actually kind of sliding on top of the blue, and because of that, it's forcing that blue to go down some more. Hot molecules are less dense. They're rising to the top. They're staying up on top. Those cold molecules are more dense, and so what's happening is that when they're colliding, the denser molecules, just like when happening with oceanic and continental crust, the more dense molecules are going to go down than the less dense molecules. What you see happening in the mantle of the Earth is happening right here in the atmosphere and is happening right here inside this plastic bucket. That is subduction, and that is density, and that is convection.
That's cool.
On the other side, the blue one is going up.
Right. Why is the blue beginning to come up on this side now? What's happening here?
It's getting hotter.
Because it's getting hotter. It's getting to that hot water surface, and now it is the hot water source, and so now it is beginning to rise. And you can see on this side, the exact same thing is happening to those red molecules. You can start to see that they are actually going down on this side. This is what's happening in our atmosphere. This is what happens in our oceans. This is what happens in the mantle. All of that is convection, just in 3 different locations.